September 11, 2001, a date etched in the minds of every American. The Twin Towers, once reaching towards the heavens, crumbled under the weight of hatred and terror. Nearly 3,000 innocent lives were lost. Mothers, fathers, sons and daughters gone in an instant. The world mourned with us, united in grief and outrage. But amidst the rubble and despair, a steely resolve began to form. America, wounded but not broken, would rise from the ashes. We would hunt down those responsible for this heinous act. And at the top of that list, the name that echoed through the halls of power was Osama bin Laden. The world had changed, and America was now locked in a new kind of war, a war against an enemy that hid in the shadows. The attacks of 9/11 cast a long shadow over America. Fear became a constant companion, a gnawing anxiety that touched every aspect of our lives. The government, determined to prevent another tragedy, implemented sweeping security measures. The Transportation Security Administration, or TSA, was created, tasked with screening passengers and baggage at airports across the country, but the war on terror extended far beyond our borders. In the wake of 9/11, the United States, with the support of international allies, launched military operations in Afghanistan and Iraq. The search for bin Laden became an obsession for intelligence agencies around the world. For years, the hunt for bin Laden consumed the resources and manpower of multiple intelligence agencies. The CIA, in particular, dedicated countless hours to analyzing every scrap of information, every whisper on the wind, hoping for a breakthrough. Interrogations of captured al-Qaeda operatives revealed the existence of a trusted courier, a man known only by the pseudonym Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. The CIA dedicated their most skilled analysts to tracking al-Kuwaiti. They painstakingly pieced together his movements, following a trail that led them from the mountains of Afghanistan to the bustling cities of Pakistan. The intelligence community, armed with this crucial lead, focused their efforts on uncovering al-Kuwaiti's true identity and whereabouts. The breakthrough came when al-Kuwaiti was tracked to a nondescript city in northeastern Pakistan called Abbottabad. He was traced to a large, heavily fortified compound, a place strangely out of character for the region. The CIA, working in conjunction with other intelligence agencies, began a period of intense surveillance on the compound. Satellites captured high-resolution images while unmanned drones buzzed overhead, their cameras recording every movement within the compound's walls. Analysts pored over the footage, studying the routines of the residents, looking for any clue that might confirm bin Laden's presence. As the surveillance continued, the CIA began to suspect that the compound wasn't just another safe house for a high-ranking al-Qaeda operative, it might be the sanctuary of bin Laden himself. Several factors pointed to this unsettling possibility. The compound's size and security were far beyond what one would expect for a man like al-Kuwaiti. Convinced that they were closing in on their target, President Obama authorized a daring and risky operation, a raid by a small team of Navy SEALs. The mission was shrouded in secrecy, with only a handful of top officials privy to the plan. The stakes couldn't have been higher. The SEAL team tasked with the mission, known as SEAL Team 6, began an intense period of preparation. Every aspect of the raid, from the infiltration of the compound to the capture or kill order on bin Laden, was meticulously planned and rehearsed. To ensure secrecy and minimize the chances of leaks, a full-scale replica of bin Laden's compound was constructed at a remote location. Here, the SEALs could practice their movements, familiarize themselves with the layout, and rehearse every conceivable scenario. The pressure on the team was immense, but they carried the weight of the mission with stoic professionalism. The date for the raid was set, the culmination of years of painstaking work, unwavering dedication, and the unyielding hope of bringing the world's most wanted man to justice. The date was set, May 2, 2011. Under the veil of a moonless night, the SEAL Team 6 boarded 2 stealth Black Hawk helicopters, specially modified for the mission. The choppers, their dark silhouettes barely visible against the night sky, lifted off from a base in Afghanistan and began their clandestine journey towards Abbottabad, Pakistan. The mission was fraught with risk. Pakistan, while officially an ally in the war on terror, was unaware of the operation. Inside the helicopters, the atmosphere was tense but focused. The flight took approximately 90 minutes, a tense journey across rugged terrain and into the heart of a nation oblivious to the drama unfolding above. The first Black Hawk, aiming for a stealthy insertion into the compound's courtyard, encountered unexpected turbulence caused by the high walls and thin air. The helicopter, struggling to maintain stability, made a hard landing, its tail section clipping the outer wall. Despite the jarring impact, the SEALs, their training kicking in, quickly disembarked and established a perimeter. The second helicopter, witnessing the mishap, adjusted its approach and landed outside the compound walls. The team quickly regrouped, their initial plans disrupted but their resolve unwavering. Using explosives to breach the compound's walls, the SEALs moved swiftly and silently through the building, their movements honed by countless hours of training. As the SEALs made their way through the compound, they encountered several women and children, relatives of bin Laden and his couriers. Following their rules of engagement, the SEALs secured the non-combatants, ensuring their safety amidst the chaos. The trail led to the third floor, where the SEALs, their senses on high alert, approached a heavily fortified door. Breaching the door, they entered a small, dimly lit room. There, in the shadows, stood a tall, bearded figure, his hand reaching for a nearby AK-47. 2 shots rang out, piercing the silence of the night. Bin Laden, struck in the head and chest, crumpled to the floor, his reign of terror finally brought to an end. The echoes of gunfire faded, leaving a heavy silence in their wake. The SEALs, their adrenaline still surging, approached the fallen figure cautiously, their weapons trained on the lifeless body. One of the SEALs, his face obscured by night vision goggles, knelt beside the body and removed a small pouch from bin Laden's clothing. Inside, they found identification documents confirming their target's identity beyond any doubt. Following their predetermined orders, the team prepared bin Laden's body for extraction. The news of bin Laden's death spread like wildfire through the chain of command, reaching President Obama and his top advisors, who had gathered in the White House Situation Room. A collective sigh of relief swept through the room, followed by a somber recognition of the gravity of the situation. The man who had orchestrated the deadliest terrorist attack on American soil was gone, brought to justice by the courage and skill of America's elite warriors. As the world began to awaken to the news, celebrations erupted across the United States. Crowds gathered outside the White House, at Ground Zero in New York City, and in town squares across the nation, waving American flags, chanting USA, USA. But even in the midst of celebration, there was a recognition that bin Laden's death, while a significant blow to Al-Qaeda, did not signal the end of terrorism. Back in Abbottabad, the SEALs, their mission nearing its end, prepared for their departure. They boarded the remaining Black Hawk helicopter, their bags laden with intelligence, the weight of their accomplishment heavy on their shoulders. The crashed helicopter, deemed unsalvageable, was destroyed on site to prevent any sensitive technology from falling into the wrong hands. The journey back to their base was tense but uneventful. As they flew over the darkened landscape, they couldn't help but reflect on the events of the past few hours. They had faced death head-on and emerged victorious, delivering a blow to terrorism that would reverberate around the world. Upon their return, the SEALs were greeted as heroes, their faces obscured but their actions speaking volumes about their courage and dedication. They had operated in secrecy, their mission known only to a select few, but their success had brought a measure of closure to a nation still healing from the wounds of 9/11. They would return to their families, to their lives, forever bound by the shared experience of that night. They would carry the weight of their actions, the memory of the lives lost and the justice served, with a quiet dignity, their story a testament to the bravery and professionalism of America's special forces. As news of the raid spread, the world held its breath, waiting for confirmation of bin Laden's death. President Obama appeared on television screens across the globe, delivering a historic message. Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden. He spoke of the victims of 9/11 and their families, of the first responders who had rushed into danger, and of the men and women in uniform who had fought tirelessly to keep America safe. Under the cloak of darkness, the Black Hawk helicopter carrying the SEAL team lifted off from the Abbottabad compound. They left behind a scene of controlled chaos, the compound now swarming with Pakistani security forces. Inside the helicopter, the atmosphere was a mix of relief and somber satisfaction. They had accomplished their mission, delivering a devastating blow to Al-Qaeda. The flight back to their base was a blur of fatigue and adrenaline. They had stared death in the face and emerged victorious. They had executed one of the most daring and successful covert operations in history. The Black Hawk touched down softly in the predetermined location, a remote desert airstrip bathed in the soft glow of pre-dawn light. A small contingent of military personnel sworn to secrecy awaited their arrival, their faces a mix of anticipation and awe. Word of the mission's success had reached them, but seeing the SEALs emerge from the helicopter, their gear still bearing the dust of Abbottabad, made the reality of the situation hit home. The team was quickly ushered into a debriefing room, a nondescript tent erected hastily in the middle of nowhere. Here, away from prying eyes and curious ears, they would recount the events of the raid in meticulous detail, their every move, every shot, every decision scrutinized and analyzed. Despite the exhaustion etched on their faces, the SEALs recounted the mission with the precision and professionalism that had become their hallmark. They described the compound's layout, the resistance they encountered, the moment they came face to face with bin Laden. Their words, delivered in hushed tones, painted a vivid picture of the raid, a testament to their training and their ability to perform under unimaginable pressure. The debriefing lasted for hours, every detail of the mission dissected and examined. The intelligence gathered from the compound, including computers, documents, and other materials, was carefully cataloged and sent for analysis, potentially yielding valuable insights into Al-Qaeda's operations and future plans. As dawn broke across the globe, news of bin Laden's death sent shockwaves through the international community. Headlines proclaimed bin Laden dead in bold letters. The world watched in awe. Reactions were mixed but mostly positive. In the United States, a wave of relief and jubilation swept the nation. People took to the streets chanting USA, USA. World leaders praised the operation. British Prime Minister David Cameron called it a great success. However, the raid sparked a diplomatic firestorm. Pakistan was outraged by the operation within its borders. The Pakistani government scrambled to contain the fallout. The raid exposed the fragile nature of international alliances. The death of Osama bin Laden marked a turning point in the global fight against terrorism. It was a symbolic victory, a testament to the relentless pursuit of justice by the United States and its allies. The man who had orchestrated the deadliest terrorist attack on American soil, who had become a symbol of hatred and extremism, was gone. The news of his death brought a sense of closure, a collective sigh of relief, to a nation still healing from the wounds of 9/11. The families of the victims, who had endured years of unimaginable pain and loss, could finally find some solace in knowing that the mastermind behind their loved ones' deaths had been held accountable. The raid on bin Laden's compound also sent a powerful message to terrorists around the world. No matter where you hide, no matter how long it takes, the United States will hunt you down and bring you to justice. It reaffirmed America's resolve to fight against terrorism, to protect its citizens and interests at home and abroad. The successful operation was a testament to the bravery and skill of the men and women of the U.S. military and intelligence agencies. The legacy of the raid on bin Laden's compound is complex and multifaceted. While it dealt a significant blow to Al-Qaeda, it did not eradicate the threat of terrorism. In the years since bin Laden's death, new terrorist groups have emerged, some inspired by Al-Qaeda's ideology, others driven by different grievances and goals. The fight against terrorism has evolved, becoming more diffuse and decentralized. Terrorist groups, leveraging the internet and social media, have become adept at recruiting followers, spreading propaganda, and inciting violence across borders. The raid also highlighted the challenges of conducting counter-terrorism operations in a complex geopolitical landscape. The operation in Abbottabad, carried out without Pakistan's knowledge, strained relations with a nominal ally and underscored the difficulties of navigating international partnerships in the pursuit of shared security goals. Despite these challenges, the legacy of the raid on bin Laden's compound endures. It serves as a reminder of the human cost of terrorism, the enduring impact on victims and their families, and the importance of international cooperation in combating this global threat. The raid also stands as a testament to the courage, skill, and unwavering dedication of those who put their lives on the line to protect their countries and uphold the values of freedom and justice. Their story is a reminder that even in the darkest of times there are those who are willing to stand against tyranny and fight for a better world.